Do you share the view that what is very important is to see whether or not there's much debate, and if they're successful in deciding on what should be on the agenda of the CEC meeting?
Morning, Satisa. Look, I don't think this is about debate. I think this is about politics, and it's about whether people want to compromise or whether they want conflict. I mean, everybody knows what the position is. Everybody knows what the divisions are. I don't think anybody in Cosatu really believes that this is a legal matter or a procedural matter. The question is, do the two sides, which are in conflict with each other, want to try to deal with that conflict and come to a compromise? And that we'll see over the next couple of days.
And of course, then one has to examine what is at stake. There, those who are saying, for instance, if there is going to be a report of this long-awaited, facilitated internal process report that is to be presented, that's supposed to deal with what the root causes of these divisions are, that would really, take to a head what are the real issues and whether there is a need for compromise.
Yes, that's correct. Remember, the facilitation process has been going on for some time, well before the controversy about Zwelinzima Vavi's personal behavior. And it does deal with the very deep-rooted problems within Cosatu. Now, clearly the facilitation process will come up with some suggestions about how Cosatu could deal with the conflict, could find ways to actually ensure that it doesn't tear the organization apart. And I think we'll get a sense over the next couple of days about whether Cosatu is serious in dealing with that. I think really what is at stake at the moment is, are you going to have conflict which could either split Cosatu or very severely weaken it, or are you going to have a serious attempt to heal that conflict? Whatever Zwelinzima Vavi may or may not done, I think my reading of the situation at the moment is that you can't actually begin to smooth the conflict out unless there's some sort of agreement on Zwelinzima Vavi, and I think that will probably have to mean some decision that he stays on as General Secretary.
Does that mean an out-of-court settlement?
Well, it's not really even an out-of-court settlement at this stage. Court cases can be withdrawn. Very often people bring court cases in these situations as a way of signaling that they're very angry, that they want to sort the issue out, that they're not going to let it go away. And I think that this is the case here. Of course, if the group that suspended Mr. Vavi, those who've come out in support of the decision, come to the conclusion that they're so determined to go ahead that they don't care about the court action, then this might land up in court. But I suspect this is one of these cases where you take people to court not because you want to go to court, but you want to say, look, we really need to settle this, and if you don't settle this, then we will go to court. So, yeah, it's not a case of an out-of-court settlement. If they do actually find each other, then the case may well be withdrawn. I think, incidentally, that behind the scenes, the attitude of the ANC leadership may be absolutely crucial at the CEC, because although the ANC leadership are uncomfortable with some of the things that Vavi says in public, they know how damaging this could be to Cosatu, and they know how damaging this could be to the ANC, and they may well be lobbying behind the scenes to say, look, this conflict isn't really in Cosatu's interests.
Is there a real prospect of a split within Cosatu? There's been a great deal of speculation about this in terms of how many unions really support Zwelinzima Vavi and would do anything to prevent his ouster from the federation.
Yes, I think a split is certainly a possibility. You can carry on a trade union even if you're not a member of a federation. You can carry on a trade union if you're a member of a smaller federation. It doesn't really affect your day-to-day bargaining. And I think that if we are going to reach a situation where one side believes that really nobody is paying attention to them within Cosatu, that what they want is not being taken seriously, then you will have a split. So I don't think that can be taken lightly. And the number of unions may not be the issue if there were a split. We all know that if there was to be a split, NUMSA, the National Union of Metal Workers, would be the leading union to leave. It is the largest union in Cosatu. It is in a number of industries, and that gives some sort of critical mass. So the stakes are very high. I don't think anybody should believe that this is an idle threat. And even if there isn't a split, what type of trade union federation are you going to have over the next couple of years if its major concern is to fight internal battles? So there are pretty good reasons why Cosatu needs to think very seriously of trying to settle this and trying to find a way to end the conflict.